Well, they're done, guys. Check these bad boys out. So you saw the video that I popped on Tuesday. Both looking beautiful. So before I wrap this one here up with the bags, as you can see that I do with this, I thought I'd show you the finished product. So again, dust cover, kept in its own sheet, all the overhangs underneath. Deck itself's been bagged up just to keep them all dust free and nice and clean. Beautiful. So this is the end result. Still as gorgeous. Still as gorgeous as the previous video that I popped on. Arm assembly was lovely already. It's even better now. Even better. Extremely happy with the outcome. You can already see the difference with the platters on these as well. Both of them are exactly the same. They're polished up lovely. Absolutely lovely. What we've basically completed with these, we have got, apart from obviously the basic parts with the service, so the plimps stripped down, completely deep cleaned, all the grime and gunk underneath. There was a lot of grime and problems underneath. That's all been done. We've kept the original pitch trims, so because they're in very nice condition. This is just the light that's causing this underneath here. You can see the corners of the patches here. That is the light, unfortunately. You can see a few blotchy parts. Again, this isn't anything major to worry about. I have been handling these and moving these still, so they are going to be given a final clean up before I do anything else and put them in a bag. But yeah, so service and deep clean on both of these turntables, stripped down, fully rebuilt. Parts required on these, the main boards themselves as basic service requirements I do with all turntables have been completed. I've kept the original mains cables, original audio cables. They're in pristine condition, no interference, no nothing. They are lovely. We've got new under shader cloths on the slider units on both of these decks. The actual physical under plimp shader unit, they've been replaced. One of them was actually falling off underneath. I think it was this deck here. We've done that. We've kept the original pop-ups on both of these because the lamps are still functioning fine. Changed over the speed selection switches. No brainer really. Not very expensive to do. And you go again, future-proofing these turntables. Yeah, we've got that on there. The slider units have been rebuilt from scratch. The only reason I've done this is because they are both fully working. When I actually took the sliders apart, the carbon tracks are a little bit dirty, but there was no wear to the carbon tracks, which was very, very, very nice indeed. Both calibrated to the exact specifications you actually required on these decks. And they actually line up even better. So the calibration settings on these two turntables did swayed over periods of time, so they were both completely wrong. It was actually quite surprising that they lined up as well as they did. Now they're even better. So we had slight differences, like the minus 3.3 was over 4, I think just over 4 on one, whereas the other was slightly under where it should have been. But I was very impressed, as you could tell, with the original video when I first tested these. Now they are bang on. They are absolutely bang on. We've got a 6.4 for the plus 6, which is absolutely spot on with these decks, with the slider units that are installed. The 3.3 is between 3 and 4, exactly where it should be on both turntables, and minus 3.3, again, is exactly where it should be. I'm very, very happy. And again, if my customer ever decides to sell these, I want them. I want them. I cannot see these going anywhere anytime soon. He's really well looked after these, and now they've been given the service that they deserved. They look even better. I mean, look at the platter on this, guys. Look at it. I spent a good hour or so on each one. Give them a nice polish. Did not take much to get that up to spec. We've also got on here, so his dust covers underneath the bags. That's ready to rock. I'm going to give this a further clean before I pop this back in the bag as well. 2 of the X-ray mats. These are my custom designs. A lot of people keep asking me about my slip mats and where they can buy the merch. Again, if you go on to justtechnics.co.uk, it is UK only for delivery, I'm afraid, but everything is showing on the website that is available at present. You haven't got long to get them for Christmas if you are in the UK, so I would recommend getting your orders in if you do want some slip mats and all different merch on the website before Christmas. So these are the original boxes. We've got his invoice on top of there as well, which is just writing on the back of this. The back of the writing is for a friend of mine, Richard, who buys in vinyl. So anybody out there that's looking to sell records, they're on the back of every invoice, so I can give you the details if you'd like to know who it is. These foam blocks were the foam blocks that were underneath the arms. Remember I did the original video? They were sitting underneath. You don't really need them, to be fair, but just kept them on the side for the time being. But yeah, they're ready to go. My customer's been notified. I'm really looking forward to him seeing these in person. I really am. Like I said, I mean, the trims themselves, you got slight wear marks on them, but they're original. They're original, guys. I mean, once I give these another little clean over, little marks like this, for an example, they'll be gone. But you know, if you've got big flaky bits on there and scratches and gouges, then of course you're going to change them. But because of the condition of these overall, I wanted to keep these as original as possible. That's why we've kept the original sliders, plus because they just line up so well. The original lamps, again, you know, if it's not broken, don't fix it, just leave it well alone. But the feet, I don't know if you can see this on here as well, but the feet, I've actually polished the feet. They've gone through the machine polisher, so they're a hell of a lot cleaner as well. Again, didn't take much to get these looking spanking. The bases on these look lovely. They're just a nice, solid, clean, well looked after pair of 1210 Mark IIs. Very happy with the outcome. I'm sure my customer's going to be as well. Audio signal on both of these is just pristine. Clean as a whistle. Exactly as you'd expect. There was a bit of grime underneath, like I say, inside the inner area of the plinth itself. Lots of dust, lots of grime. You know, and the spindles, that was the other thing. Remember I said on the previous video that my customer had bought the original Panasonic branded oil, but he never used it. Well, it was quite apparent, really. I mean, they still move fairly freely. And of course, like I said, when you give it a bit of a push on the platter with the magnet underneath and the way that these work, you're going to get some movement. But there's a huge difference now with the freeness of the actual spindle, because what I've done there is it took a bit of effort to actually get the spindle out of the bearing housing itself. It was just gunged up with old oil. It was just black, brown. It was horrible. So that's all been taken out, completely stripped down. The brass section, the brass section of the spindle has been deep polished as well. So that's been machine polished. That's looking lovely and clean on both of these. So the spindle's been freshly oiled. You haven't got a guy. For those of you that are wanting to oil your spindles, I mean, you can go down the route of finding the original Panasonic oil, because you can buy them in little tubs on eBay and all sorts of places. The best thing to do is just, to be honest with you, go on to djspares.com. It'll go through to the eBay store. Kev sells bottles of what's called Adderall oil. That is actually what the original oil was, than what they used to use and put in these tiny little tubs. You find that he tends to sell them in slightly bigger bottles as well. So if you want to future-proof these even more, then it is definitely worth considering. Really simple to apply. So slip mat off, platter off. The spindle will be exposed with the top section of the stator, and all you literally do is just get the dropper, pop a tiny little drop on there, move it around and wipe the excess. Very, very simple. Definitely worth doing if you've never, ever done it from new. But yeah, so he sells them on the website. But that's the name of the oil, so it's Adderall oil. That's what Panasonic used. But yeah, fantastic condition. Very happy with this. What do you think, guys? I know we've got wear marks on the corners from obviously dust covers and things, but this is expected. They've lived with the dust covers on their entire life. Very, very nice. And there we go. I thought I'd just share with you the finished result. I'm going to give them a further polish up. Get some more of these little light marks out, because some of these on here can be removed. You can see from me just doing that under the light, this is all going to be removed. But yeah, honesty and all that. I thought I'd show you this on camera. But yeah, there we go. What do you think? Ready to rock and roll. Lovely jubbly.